You're lying in bed, lights off, and for a second, just a second, something feels wrong. You can't see the corner of the room. You can't confirm what that sound was. And even though you know, logically, that nothing is there, your body doesn't seem to care. Your ears sharpen, your breathing slows, you're listening. You're an adult. You have electricity. You live in a building with locks. And some part of your brain is still absolutely convinced that the dark is dangerous. Here's the thing. That part isn't broken. That part is ancient. And it has been keeping your ancestors alive for a very, very long time. This is why humans are afraid of the dark.
Let's start with the fact that you're not alone in this. Not even close. Studies consistently show that fear of the dark is one of the most common fears on the planet, not just in children, but in adults. Around 11% of adults report clinically significant fear of the dark. But that's just the ones who'll admit it. The number of people who feel a little uneasy, who glance behind them, who don't love sleeping with the bedroom door open, that number is much, much higher. And it doesn't matter where you're from. Dark fear shows up across cultures, across continents, across every corner of human history. That kind of universality is a signal. When something appears in every human population that has ever existed, it usually means evolution put it there on purpose. So the question isn't why some people are afraid of the dark. The question is why any of us ever stopped being afraid of it. Here's what your brain is actually doing when the lights go out. Your visual system runs on light. When light drops, your ability to gather information drops with it. You can't confirm whether something is in the room. You can't track movement. You can't read distance or size or threat level. And your brain, which is a prediction machine that absolutely hates uncertainty, responds to that information gap by filling it in. With what? With the worst reasonable possibility. This is called threat bias. Your brain doesn't default to probably fine. It defaults to could be dangerous, treat it as dangerous until confirmed otherwise. In the dark, you can't confirm otherwise, so the threat stays live. Your amygdala, the brain's alarm system, stays activated. Cortisol and adrenaline trickle in. Your senses sharpen. You become hypervigilant. This is not a malfunction. This is your brain doing exactly what it was designed to do. The question is, designed in response to what? Here's where it gets interesting. Modern humans have existed for roughly 300,000 years. Electric light has existed for about 150. For almost our entire existence as a species, when the sun went down, we went dark. Real dark. Not the hallway light is off dark. Not the phone screen is too bright dark. Absolute darkness. The kind where you genuinely cannot see your hand in front of your face. And in that darkness, something was there. Early humans lived in open environments in Africa. Grasslands, woodlands, rocky terrain. Beautiful during the day, genuinely deadly at night. Because the animals that hunted humans, and there were many, were overwhelmingly nocturnal. Leopards hunt at night. Lions are significantly more active and more aggressive after dark. Hyenas operate primarily nocturnally. Ancient predators that no longer exist, massive cats, giant hyenas, predatory species we've since lost, were part of the ecological reality your ancestors navigated every single night for hundreds of thousands of years. These animals had something your ancestors didn't. Better night vision, adapted pupils, reflective eye tissue that let them see in conditions that left humans effectively blind.
When your ancestors heard a sound in the dark, they could not see what made it. They could not assess the threat. All they knew was that they couldn't see, and that the things that wanted to eat them could.
The humans who were casual about this didn't survive to pass on casual genes. The humans who got scared, who stayed near the fire, who slept in groups, who woke at sounds, who refused to walk into darkness alone, those humans lived. They had children. Their children inherited the same hair trigger response to darkness and low visibility. This is the core of it. Fear of the dark wasn't a personality quirk in your ancestors. It was a survival filter. The ones who didn't have it got removed from the gene pool with brutal consistency, night after night for hundreds of thousands of years. What you feel in the dark bedroom at 2 a.m. is the inheritance of every ancestor who made it through the night. Now, let's talk about what your brain does with that inheritance, because this is where it gets genuinely strange. When visibility drops, your brain doesn't just become alert, it becomes imaginative. Studies on threat perception in low light show that humans consistently overestimate the size of potential threats, overestimate the speed of movement, and overpopulate empty spaces with imagined presences. You don't just become scared, you become creative about what to be scared of. Researchers think this is an extension of the same threat bias system. If you're going to an uncertain environment and you have to sleep somewhere, sleep on the side of there being something there. The cost of a false alarm is a racing heart and a bad night's sleep. The cost of missing a real predator is death. The math has always been obvious. This is also why children have it worse. Young children don't yet have a fully calibrated sense of what's real and what isn't. Their threat bias is running at full sensitivity with no learned filter to reduce the noise. They haven't accumulated enough experience to confidently override the signal. So the dark becomes genuinely terrifying in a way most adults have only partially, grown out of. The reason adults never fully lose it isn't a failure of rationality. It's that the underlying system never got an update. There was no evolutionary pressure to remove it. Artificial light is brand new. Agriculture is new. Permanent shelter is relatively new. In evolutionary time, we are still the species that slept in the open while leopards circled the edge of the firelight. And every human culture seems to have understood this intuitively, even without the evolutionary framework to explain it. Every major human civilization has populated the dark with something dangerous. Spirits, demons, monsters, gods of the underworld. Norse mythology gave the night its own class of creatures. Ancient Mesopotamian texts describe demons that specifically operated after sundown. Nearly every indigenous tradition across every continent includes entities or forces associated with darkness and nighttime danger. This is not coincidence. This is a species that knew on some deep level that the dark had historically been the thing that killed you, and processed that knowledge through story and belief and warning passed down through generations. The monsters in the dark were never just metaphors. They were the cultural memory of a time when something real was out there, and you couldn't see it coming. So, when the lights go off and that feeling arrives, the alertness, the listening, the slight certainty that something might be in the corner, here is what's actually happening. Your brain is running ancient software on a modern problem. It's doing a threat assessment in conditions that, for almost all of human history, genuinely warranted one. It's checking, and it can't confirm all clear, so it stays on. You are not being irrational. You are being ancestrally accurate. The fear of the dark is not a glitch. It's a receipt. proof that every single person in your direct line, going back further than any name or record survives, made it through the night. They stayed near the fire. They listened. They didn't walk into the dark alone. And eventually, they had you. If this kind of mystery interests you, hit like and subscribe, because next time we're going somewhere even stranger and more interesting than this. We're asking a question that sounds even simpler. Why do humans dream? The answer involves memory, threat rehearsal, and a theory that dreams might be the brain running survival simulations while you sleep. That one's coming soon. Thanks for watching.